Okay, this is episode 2 of saving Xena. The problems just keep compounding with this mower. This does seem to be in the right spot. I was hoping that maybe they had installed this wrong and I could put a little more pressure on this, but what you can do to add to the pull on this is to remove this, and then I think if you remove this piece, and if I remember right, you loosen this plastic piece because there's a thread. There's a thread under there. And I think if you loosen this, turn it this way, that will increase the pull on that. I could have that backwards, so we'll know soon. And the other obvious problem with this is the governor is not attached to the carburetor. And I think that's because the little hole here has been broken off. That's been broken off. That should extend out. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Here's some of my stashes of carburetors. And this is what that piece is supposed to look like. Let me get this off. All right, see that little arm with the hole in the end? That has been broken off and is missing from that. So the throttle is never going to work right. And that's why it's just laying there. So I've got to go in and replace this piece if I choose to keep this carburetor, or just replace the carburetor. But so that's going on. The tank does not have any fuel in it, which is probably a good thing. It's got a little bit of gunk in the bottom. I've seen worse. So let's set the phone down, and we're gonna work with this cable. It's probably a little bit rusted because anytime you see people doing the twist ties on these things, that's because it's under such pressure that it pops off because it's a rusted cable. And that may buy you some time. It may work for a while that way. But we're going to go into this and see if we can improve on this situation. So I'm going to kind of focus the camera up here on that piece. I'm going to cut those twist ties off. Give me something to work with here. This metal isn't bent. Often that metal bends on these things if there's too much pressure put on this because of a rusted cable. Well, let's get that one off of there. And now the one that's really holding on, which is that one. And it'll probably pop out when I do this now. Yep. See that? See how that pops out? It's under so much pressure that comes loose. That's why that twist tie is there. And that's because this is probably too rusted. Now there is a bend there, which I'm gonna get out. That might make it function a little better. So let's see what's what here. I'm gonna bend this cable to straighten it some, get that kink out of it. And now I'm gonna loosen, I'm gonna put a couple of turns on this thing this way. I'm loosening this until I see, let's see, 1 or 2 threads. Okay, now I'm gonna put it back in. hold this and see if okay, that clears a little better. Okay, so that makes me feel better about that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me get something to hold the clamp down. All right, I'm gonna hold this on, pull that back. Now put the clamp on. I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you'll remember, there was very little gap between that kill switch and that contact point. Well, now it's not gonna kill itself accidentally by hitting a bump or something, because there's a decent gap. I can make it a little bigger by putting another couple of turns on this thing right there, but that will do. So for now, I may put that back. What I like to do is duct tape, not duct tape, I'm sorry, electrical tape. So let me take the pressure off this and do either a hose clamp or some duct tape to keep this from popping out that way. So let's try that. Now this kill cable does work. I mean, it's a little rough, but it does work. So let me get some electrical tape. All right, here's a little roll. And what you want to do is put it right where this cable comes out of this housing to keep it from going that way. So I'm going to put a couple of wraps on here, keep it secure, and I'm pulling on this tape so to put pressure on that. Pulling on that tape. Okay, put a couple of wraps there, 2 or 3 wraps there, and now bring it up and start to cover the bottom half of the housing. Do several wraps like that. Okay, and I'm getting into the paper on this thing, so I have to run out of electrical tape. Okay, so that's good. So throw that away. So now get the WD-40. I'm going to spray that on this end right here, right down in there. I'm going to do this carefully so it doesn't come back and squirt you in your eyes. All right, there's one little squirt. This is going to help a little bit. This thing's been left out in the weather too much. All right, squirted that in. All right, let's see if my electrical tape idea worked. That's much better. Much better. And it's clearing pretty good down there. Let's take a look. See, by tightening that, I've got an even bigger gap there. So this kill cable is going to work now. All right, come on back for episode 3, guys. Give me a like, subscribe, tell your friends.